Right to Information campaign, which began from your very vibrant movement to make accounts transparent in Rajasthan, and then grew into a national movement of huge dimensions, is now being used virtually in every city, every town, every village. Do you see pushbacks there?
See, there it's going to be by omission. These are all commission. Land Acquisition Act is a commission. You'll reduce it. You'll do this. You'll get rid of labour laws. But because of the 8 million users, there are as many urban middle class people and upper class elite, and including the Prime Minister's wife, who applied for information just yesterday or day before asking about security. So since it covers a large section of people, they cannot be by commission because heckles will arise. Even the NRIs understand RTI. They may not understand other things, but RTI is understood the world over, and we are number 2 law in the world, and so on and so forth. So what may happen is that it will be omission. You will not appoint PIOs. You will not appoint commissioners. You will, as with all commissions, but with the Information Commission as well.
We don't have one at the moment.
No, but you know, this whole, there I see a political strategy. By not creating an opposition, leader of the opposition, you are also disenfranchising and reducing the power of your commissions. Because in every commission, the appointment committee has the leader of the opposition. But the RTI Act says the leader of the opposition or the leader of the largest party in parliament. So they can't bypass the RTI in that sense, because we sort of came later. So we looked at all the pitfalls of the various previous commissions and so on and put that in. Now the only thing they can do is delay and reduce your commissions. Now, for instance, in some of the commissions, if you file an appeal, it will take 4 years for the appeal to come up and 16 years to be heard. In Rajasthan, it will take 6 months for your appeal to be registered, and it can take any number of years to be heard and finished. So the whole issue of right to information as a remedy for something which is immediately happening in government will fall, and the fear, the fundamental fear of transparency is much more than the other laws, because it really exposes governance. And one of the areas that is under very great attack and restructuring today is this whole system of governance, democratic governance that has been built up. And I think we should read this Subramaniam's report that's come out in greater detail to see what reform is being suggested. So today it's not one area or one sector, the attack is on all sides, so that there is a complete takeover to make it possible for one person to rule this country from one room. Because even our ministers don't meet us. The media question also gets answered. You can't meet your ministers. Who are your ministers? It's not the minister of the ruling party. The minister sits on that chair. He or she is my minister. I have every right to go and see her. No access. I can't meet my secretary, because the secretary to government only looks up towards the South Block. And he has to look down on me. I mean, I am the person for whom he is working or she is working. The whole concept of governance which RTI brought, saying that what an MP can see or an MLA can see, I can see, that I am the sovereign and my sovereignty is manifested in my question of saying, what are you doing, where are you doing, how are you doing? Now that sovereignty, it will be very irksome to a government that wants silence. So in that sense, it's a far greater threat perhaps in some senses than any other, but it's a much more difficult right to corrode today, because these 8 to 10 million users know its value.
So there is a resistance to it? People are going to resist this change?
See, the thing is, it's so subtle what they'll do, but already discussions have begun in various places about how this resistance is manifesting itself in small and big ways. Because you know that in Mumbai, there was a High Court decision saying that frivolous and vexatious and you need not answer this. This issue has been settled in government.
That's right.
And Parliament, and I mean, if it's been settled in government and settled by that, I don't think a High Court can set it aside. So that is an issue we'll have to take up again. So in fact, it's a pity that instead of retaining a completely independent attitude to all these things, the judiciary is now also getting influenced by the popular discourse. And this popular discourse is manufactured discourse. because of non-representation of people in media, and because of so it's a spiral, you see. So you create a discourse which is a partial discourse. It becomes the mainstream discourse and becomes a popular discourse, and it's fed back to the people, and the people then feel that they are marginalized when they're actually in larger numbers. So you create a psychology of minority when actually you're the majority, and then you bring in the majority opinion. This is the strategy which has been used, which we all know very well. But now it's for me, for everyone now, it's getting more apparent. I don't think any Indian likes to be manipulated, and I think this is where I believe that the Indian will rise, because when the emergency happened, we did not want to be manipulated. Today again we are being manipulated. Only question I want to ask you, don't believe me, don't agree with me, but do you want to be manipulated? You think I am manipulating you? What about the forces that are manipulating you? If you don't want to be manipulated, then you must resist all systems and all kinds of manipulation. Don't buy an argument that has been manufactured, you've been fed with to say you are wrong or she's wrong. It should be on the grounds of substance. It should be on the basis of genuine arguments and understanding. It can't be on superficiality.